Absolutely, I have woken up late. My bad. Ooh, how you guys doing? Absolutely missed the alarm by a big time. This is what happens when you have festivals and you have to go to people's houses to eat. And then when you tell them you have to wake up early to work out, and they laugh at you and they give you more food to eat. This is welcome to festival season in India. It is a bit crazy. It's a bit of a kerfuffle. That's the word of the day. Hey Anthony, how you doing? How you doing? I got your email, buddy. Thanks a lot. We'll coordinate. We'll coordinate. Um, but I think you have to carry the positivity today because I'm absolutely uh, low on energy because all I did was eat indiscriminately. As it was, what do you call it? It's an Indian festival of Diwali. So you have to you can't be rude, but it doesn't work both ways. When you tell them you cannot eat so much for no reason, they're like, no, it's not possible. You have to eat. How can you not eat? Oh. So, all I can say today is, uh, it's day 24 of waking up at 3 a.m. However, it's okay. That's why we do the live. That's why I do the live, because it shows that what happens when you oversleep. It's part of, it's plus or minus. Okay. Trying our best. That's all we can say. Whew. Happy Holy celebration. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. It's quite dark. Ooh, can you see us? Hold on. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? 22 people live. I just want to say to all the people calling in from India, all the people that are there who celebrate Diwali, happy Diwali. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's get into it. We're going to do a special Diwali exercise session today, which is basically you just wave your hand and then say happy Diwali. It's a big exercise. Because, ooh, hold on, let's see that. There we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. So, happy Diwali to all the peeps out there. Happy Diwali. Hope you guys are doing well. Ooh, I wonder what you guys did for Diwali. Anything special? Or did we just take it easy? You're seeing positive light and fitness. Yes, absolutely, Anthony. We're trying to be positive. You know what it is? I'll do this, right? So, Diwali is so different now than when I was a kid. Where in terms of like, we used to burst fireworks indiscriminately, and that was the part about, when you were younger. And now it's more about get-togethers. Sassy Worm, yo, how you doing? Happy Diwali, happy Diwali. And now it's more about like appreciating your friends and family that you meet up with. So, I think I may not do the skips. I may not do the skips because I'm absolutely stuffed with food, which I do slightly regret eating so much. But what can you do when you see people after a long time? They're like, "Oh, you've become so skinny. You've become so skinny. What is going on in England? They don't feed you, right? They don't feed you." And you're like, "No, mate. That's my lifestyle. I just don't indiscriminately stuff myself with random food. But what are you gonna say? Um, so yeah, if we talk about mental health and being awkwardly positioned into situations that you really don't want to be with, and how do you tackle that? The solution is you cannot. Because once you get cornered, it's the auntie coming in with the food. It's the auntie coming in with the food, with the first helping, and then the second and the third. And then when everybody's staring at you because you have come from abroad, and they're like, oh, look at this, huh? He's acting pricey. He's acting pricey because he's coming from foreign, from abroad. I'm like, mate, what does that have to do with anything, with them from here or not? I still don't want to eat a second helping. I can tell you. Sassy Worm, how you doing? Where are you from? What you doing? How you doing? Which country? Which city? Where are you from? Let me know. Ooh, thinking about exercise today. I don't know what exercise we can do. Maybe meditate instead of exercise. But England? Where in England are you from? Sassy Worm. We got a few people from England today. Yeah, Anthony, I want to meditate, but that'll be at 4 p.m. I mean 4 a.m. 4 a.m. So that's in a bit. I will. What can we do? We can do gentle exercise. We're gonna do gentle exercise. Blackburn! Shout out to Blackburn. Hey, Mr. Bean, what's up? What, Mr. Bean? Okay, I'll take Mr. Bean. Sure. He also graduated from Newcastle University, and Newcastle University was down the road from the university I went to. I couldn't afford it, but it's okay. It's okay, right? So I'll take Mr. Bean as that because it's practically like close by. I'm fabulous, instant killer. How you doing? Yoga stretches. The suggestion by Anthony. Fabulous. Let's do some stretches. You just look like him. I look like Mr. Bean. You do resemble with Mr. Yeah, I'm the handsome version. I'm the handsome version. I'm just gonna put it out there. Humility out the window, right? Humility out the window. Better version of Mr. Bean. Just saying. All right, we'll do some stretches. Let's do that. Okay, let's do some stretches on that. Whoa. I don't know if you can hear me, but my God. It's so important to stretch out as well. Okay, we'll take the stretching a bit easy. We'll take it part of it, no worries. Okay, you look like him, thank you very much. Instant killer with the bear, with a teddy bear. Okay. Yes. Ooh. Is your British accent as thick as my native is as any? How do you say bottle water? It depends, mate. If you're from the north, right? If you're from Newcastle, can I get a bottle of water, mate? Can I get a bottle of water? I like, pardon me, sir. Did you mean a bottle of water? Like, yeah, it's the same thing, mate. Can I get a bottle of water, like? I'm like, sure. Here's the bottle of water that you requested. So, yeah. It depends where in England you're calling from. Yeah. It's like, lettuce and tomato. Lettuce and tomato. Right? So it just depends. Mate, you know what it is, Anthony? That's what we need to do. We need to record some different ways of saying it because, you know, when I went to England first, right? Pardon my ignorance, right? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking everybody basically talks like Sean Connery. Everything is fabulous. Money Penny's gonna be like, my new mate, cause that's what it is. And to my rude shock, they don't. They have a very different way of speaking in Newcastle. Yeah, I'll read that, Pat. I'm like, Pat, what do you mean, sir? What, Pat? What, Pat? What, Pat? Petal. Well, do I look like a flower to you? So it was a bit that way. So not just the accent. It was like the words as well. Yeah. What's the crack? Excuse me, crack. What's the crack? I don't do drugs. I apologize for that. So I realized like that means like what's up, what's going on. So yeah, I was young and ignorant, and I didn't think, and I thought everybody in England was like James Bond, 007, Sean Connery, and everybody's just like that, wearing suits, and it turned out to be different, but it's all right, it's all good. How do you manage your sleep schedule if you work out late at night? No, this is early for me. So like today, I'm a bit sluggish because obviously it's a different day. However, I start my day at 3 a.m. and I end it by 8 p.m. So by 8 p.m. I'm in bed. I like it that way. And I wind down. So that's what I love most accents. I actually haven't heard one I don't like. I have a difficulty with the Liverpool accent, mate. The Liverpool accent, Stevie G, a chicken and a can of Coke, right? A chicken and a can of Coke. So it was a bit, a little bit. It's okay, but it was difficult as well to understand. Chicken and a can of Coke. It's my grand's birthday. She's turning 30. I'm gonna get her a prezi. So it's a bit difficult. Do you learn the British accent or were you born? No. I have picked it up. I've been living in Newcastle for 7 years. I was born in Bombay. Welcome, sir. So I'm from Bombay. Yeah, yeah. Then I lived in America as well. So the accent's a bit changed. A bit changed. Yeah. I read that walk kid. I read that walk kid. So walk kid is like I don't even know how to say. Like, what's up, bro? Walk kid. So I had to learn Geordie, a lot of it. Geordie's completely different. I actually don't know what a Welsh accent is, Anthony. I really don't. I haven't come across somebody who speaks proper Welsh, so I really don't know. I don't have like a base to go off. However, I've heard somebody speak from Ireland. Yeah. One of my classmates was like properly from Ireland. I met a classmate from Northern Ireland as well. I've met people from Edinburgh, right? Which was absolutely insane. There was a Sikh man. I had gone to Edinburgh for some work, and he was Sikh. So it was astonishing the way he spoke. Where it was like, what are you saying? Excuse me, because I thought he was like taking the mic, as you say. No, it wasn't. It was a proper accent. Like I met a person of Chinese heritage, but they were French speaking. So it's the same thing. It's a bit shocking sometimes, and you're like, wait, are you making fun? I'll tell you a funny story. Wait, what's up, my guy? Hey, Enzo, how you doing? Say die Orch Unwell. Okay, Deloach Yonfauer. May I'm butchering that, Anthony. I would not know even where to start with. I don't have a baseline. Deloach Yonfauer. Ah, jeez. Alright, wait. Right. So, right, I just came from America. I went to boarding school in Bangalore, India, right? And one of my really good friends was Korean, right? Taegu Kwon. Shout out to Taegu, right? And so I went to Bangalore, right? Now Bangalore is an IT hub where companies like LG, Samsung are there. So a lot of Korean kids were also there, right? South Korean kids. So I met this guy, right? His name is Jungwoo Choi. Jungwoo Choi, right? And all right, yeah, walk the dog. Oh, the French, the not the French, the Italian Mastiff, right? Okay. Enjoy walking the dog. Shout out to the dogs, right? The Mastiffs. So this kid has come out, right? He has he has like glasses like this, right? And he's like, "Hi, how are you? I'm Jungwoo." So I was like, "You mate, that sounds a bit racist. Like, what's going on?" So I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Yeah, I'm alright, yeah." And he's continuing talking in an Indian accent, like very T's and D's and like And then I got upset. I was like, "Mate, I think you cannot do that. That's a bit racist. Like, you cannot just like kick off and make fun of people." He's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" I said, "Why are you talking that way? That's not how you talk, right? Like, what?" Because it was very perplexing. He's like, "What do you mean? I talk this way only, right?" And then I found out, right? 100 characters. I will. I'll Google it, right? Do you know what it was? I'll tell you something funny. This kid has been in India longer than I had been in India, right? So he's been there for like last 10 years. So obviously, his accent has changed. And bless, it is a Korean boy who speaks like a local Indian person from the south, and you would think the face and the voice is not matching, and you think he's doing a mimicry, but that's how he sounded in English, and it was like just so astonishing. So yeah, it is sometimes a bit crazy. However, don't ever be assuming of somebody's accent because you never know where they're from, where they're grown up, what their situation is. All right, cool. So, what are we gonna do? Is talk about mental health in terms of really aren't accents fun? Yeah, they're hilarious, mate. I love doing accents sometimes. If I can talk to some people and pick up the accent, right? It's totally comfortable. Uh, yeah. From a comic standpoint, yeah, it's a bit funny. Hello, how are you? Uh, but from a mental health perspective, from a social aspect, right? Let's just do that right quick. Let's refer to that. Like as of today, right? Social commitment sometimes can be challenging because not everybody understands where you're coming from. Like today, I was a bit cornered. I didn't want to eat what they were eating. They were serving something I didn't eat. Like I was offered rice and other things which I didn't want to. But it's like social etiquette where you're like, oh, you can't be rude. But also like when you do that, it's on the other side. So I just feel like there's no correct way because do you still bobble your head? Did anyone ever mock you? Mate. Okay, I'll tell you that, right? I have been made fun of all my life. So wherever I go, I have been made fun of only because I don't fit in. So I went to America. I was Indian, huh? Hello. Then when I went to India, like, oh, look at the American, huh? Look at the American. So it's like wherever you go, right? So you know what I just say to myself? I am who I am, right? So sometimes bobblehead, sometimes like you move your hands too much. Everybody has their own thing, so it's all right. But like I was saying, you have to just be bold in your social situations, even though the anxiety may kill you by saying like, oh my god, I don't want to eat this, and then you're forced to. I think that if you mentally prepare yourself, like today I was not mentally prepared. However, I thought I had the choice to be like, oh no, it's all right, I don't eat that. But however, right. So what happens is in a social situation, because everybody's like, there's a saying, right? Birds of the same feather flock together, meaning that if everybody's gonna be eating and drinking and hanging out and eating indiscriminately, eating a lot of sweets that you don't eat, right? So they first had welcome drinks, and they're like, it was some blue colored drink or something, and they were like, "Oh, would you like?" I was like, "No, I don't. I'm not gonna have that." So everybody's just like, "Oh, wow." And it's because you're not from there, so they think you're stuck up. And I was like, "No, I don't want to drink blue colored, flavored or dyed drinks. I don't want that." Right? So then they especially made some lemonade for me, right? But then it's like every time somebody brings something, you cannot keep saying, "Oh, I don't want that." You have an alternative because it turns rude. So now you're in that kerfuffle of an area, and you put yourself in it. So I had nothing to say. I had to go because otherwise it would have been rude. So it's like you have to give in sometimes, and I don't feel there's a way out, and it is difficult, and there's nothing to it. That's why I've always tried and kept out of those situations, but sometimes you just put into them, and the only thing you do is mitigate it. So I didn't eat the dessert, right? And because not everybody's health conscious, no, not everybody's understood about it, so I avoided that. I avoided a few other things that I was like, absolutely not. I don't want to eat that. And then it's just like indiscriminate amount. I can understand awkward sometimes, made fun of, and why. Okay, yeah, I've been made fun of because I don't fit in most places, right? So when you're made fun of, especially when I was younger, I went to America, so I was in New Jersey, right? Uh, and I had just come from India, so they used to call me a fob, fresh off the boat. I was like, mate, I took a flight. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay, right? Then I went down south, and I was like, oh, you're from up north, because they always ask you where you from. You're like, yeah, I just came from New Jersey. Oh, you're from up north. So you became a Yankee. I went back to India, like, oh, you're from America. So there'll always be a reason, especially when you travel places and you're not from one place, you do get made fun of. And the thing is that it will never change. Whether if you dress differently, you speak differently, your thoughts are different, and it's not within that standard deviation, you will get made fun of. It's just a part of life. So if you're with the people who are all bodybuilding, and you're like, oh mate, I missed my creatine today, nobody's gonna laugh at you. They're like, oh mate. But if you're in front of a bunch of unhealthy people, right, and who's never been to the gym, and you're like, oh mate, you know what, I need 110 grams of protein, otherwise, they'll just laugh at you because they're not bothered. So if you put yourself in a situation, actually, you will realize that it is a bit difficult. All right, hold on. Let's do some weights. It's okay. We'll do light weights. Light weights. Whoa. Okay. Like I said, any amount of exercise is better than no exercise. Any amount of exercise is better than no exercise. I thought of you as more being room athletic. Most people would appreciate your friendship. Again, and it's a positive comment, right? I'll say this, right? I've been places where I thought honesty is the best policy, right? Where you should be courteous and kind, but when everybody over there is just is rude and a cheat and disrespectful, you will not fit in. So it's birds of the same feather flock together. Not everybody has the same understanding as what you're talking about. So if I tell somebody, right, that I meditate, say example, it's a Buddhist, right, a monk, or even just Buddhism in general, people who follow that, meditation is part, and they understand why you would sit and try and focus on yourself, right? And if you tell people who are not into that, they will make fun of you. But if you tell somebody that, no, if you meditate is great, and they're like, yeah, I know, meditation is great, they will appreciate you meditating, right? Have you tried calisthenics? Yes, I've tried it. It's amazing. It's a great alternative for the gym as well. It's a completely different line. So I do appreciate that. Stretching, yes. But you know what I feel? I think the world is such a place that when you're navigating through it, it is just like any other endeavor. There'll be the goods and the bads. There'll be the ups and the downs. That's why you have to find your own tribe. Like I believe Anthony yesterday was talking about, he has his family, and Josh Goldie's calisthenics. Come on, bro. Yes. Let's do some press ups. Okay, let's do it. This is for the Goldies out there. The Goldies. Let's do some press ups. I'll try my best. We'll do the one-handed push-ups. No. 1. That's 10. 15. 20. 25. Okay. Some calisthenics, work on it. Mate, I'm telling you, I've ate so much for the Goldies. How you doing, Josh? It's Goldies. Where you from? Welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope your mental health is fantastic. Yes. Mate, I'm telling you, I absolutely detest overeating. I just feel it's criminal, honestly. You know what it is? I made the following calculation, right? Say everybody in the Western world, right? I'm just saying approximately whoever eats breakfast, right? What does it cost? 2 pounds, 3 pounds? You know, your little coffee and croissant type thing? Maybe some cheeky Greg's. Shout out to Greg's. If you give that up and we collect that money, do you know how many millions of pounds we'll raise on a daily basis? I told you from an economic standpoint, nobody should be going hungry every day, right? It's not possible. Think about it. If adults don't go to Greg's, don't go to McDonald's for that particular morning, skip a breakfast, which is perfectly fine on average because you're just continuing intermittent fast, right? Can you imagine just one day's collection? Actually, you know what it is? Anthony, let me know what you think as well, buddy. Let me think, right? I can open a website. We're very easy. I put in a little payment gateway. We can do like a non-profit type thing. I don't know how we're gonna register. I don't know the whole answer. But I'm like, look, giveupyourbreakfast.com. We collect the money and redistribute it on a daily basis. Can you imagine how awesome that will be? So say we got 1,000 people to rally, right? 1,000 people, and you spend an average of 2,000 on breakfast, okay? Right? You donate that 2,000 pounds to giveupyourbreakfast.com, right? We just raised 2,000 pounds. What could we do with 2,000 pounds if you go to Costco and you pick up, I'm just throwing it out there, right? Say something basic like the chicken nuggets, or, well, I don't know, any meal, right? We can vote on it as well. And you redistribute it to families across the UK just as a start, right? Whoever we can get, right? Can you imagine the implication on that? I know personally, right, that if there is I believe there's 66 million people who live in England, in the UK, right? Let's just take that for a second, right? Let's just take 10% of that, right? If you have 6 million people donating 2 pounds for the day, first of all, the website traffic itself will get you so much advertising. Can you imagine 6 million people visiting your website? Crash the servers, right? Secondly, that's 12 million pounds 12 threes are 36. That's 360 million pounds raised. Do you know if I put that in an index fund at a 10% growth per year? How is that not world changing? How is it that we're not? Oh my lord! We're gonna put that in effect. That website is gonna go up tonight. I'm gonna make a mock website for tomorrow's 3 a.m. I'm gonna put that in there, right? I'm gonna put a little link, and we're gonna try this. Redistribute money collected. You give up your breakfast. The amount of benefits. I'm gonna make a little video as well, saying that if you give up your breakfast after you eat a decent dinner, you give up your breakfast in the morning, intermittent fasting. The next meal is like lunch. What the health benefits behind it, right? You can go into Hindu, Buddhist coffee shops, pay. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, that's the same thing. Yeah. So, similar concept, what you're saying, right? But Anthony, hear me out on this, right? Can you imagine? I mean, there are places who give free food, right? I know that, and it's so beautiful. We spoke about charity yesterday, right? So it is about charitable contribution that you do. However, they don't do it from a capitalistic standpoint. And what do I mean? I'm not being discouraging to them. I'm just saying from my point of view, right? When McDonald's sells their burgers and breakfast, just for an example of Greg's, right? This example, they're linked to economic policies such as the stock market and how it's influenced. Do you know McDonald's is the largest private landowner, or public now, of potatoes? So they grow their own potatoes, right, for the French fries, right? And the impacts are significant. So what happens is that McDonald's makes money, more people make money from it because they invest in the stock market. However, when you do this buy one, feed one, the only person impacting is the person before you or after you, which means that goodness can be multiplied, like we spoke about yesterday about charity. That how can you multiply goodness as fast as you multiply? I'm just going to use it as the opposite, which is just that money. Yes, because like the negativity that's multiplied, right? Imagine this that you had. I'm just saying personally, right? I'm on YouTube live, right? So they said, oh, you have, I think, you need 500 subscribers and 3,000 public hours, and you are monetizing, right? Okay. Imagine I sit there with 100 other mates, right? Anthony, yeah, back me up on this for a second, right? Imagine you have 100 other people who come in and watch this live. We all have an objective of saying, you know what, let's work on this. Let's come and talk about mental health and mental well-being for an hour. And 100 people show up. Do you know I'm just assuming, there's 1,000 watch hours a day? Do you know the monetization behind that? It's a few £100 that adds up, right? Imagine we take those few £100 and we're distributing to people who need help from mental health, and you raise that awareness. However, other people are making a business out of it. Other people are using it as a source of income, right? So I am talking just what I said yesterday from an economic standpoint, from a business standpoint. Can we turn that around to make a positive impact? You can, because I want to advocate to say that nobody needs to go to sleep hungry. Nobody needs to sleep on the streets and be homeless. There is no reason, but the governments want to ensure that, right? If you're giving a subsidy, right, for ridiculous things that I'm not going to get into what's available in UK that you hear, right? Like supporting other endeavors. I'm not going to get political, but supporting other endeavors, but not helping the people who are homeless on the streets. Yes, maybe they're doing drugs. Yes, they may be, degenerates when it comes to gambling and they've lost everything. But there's a way to support people. Like, there's no reason we should allow people letting them sleep on the street. Do you know how do I know that's a possibility? COVID. Where did the homeless people go during COVID? There was not one person, at least when I was in Newcastle, right, during COVID, there was not one person allowed to sleep on the street. Where do you think they went? And how is it all of a sudden after COVID lockdowns are over, they're back on the streets? Does something add up? Something doesn't add up to me. Where did they put those people? And why is it that they don't have that same housing arrangement now? Right? So think about it from that part. Right? GiveUpBreakfast.com. I'm going to check that out, definitely. What can we do? Maybe I'm naive and I'm like, oh my God, I don't understand how that works. Or yes, you can make a positive impact. It's just that it takes a little bit of courage to do so and to think about it from a, a different point of view, and what I'm saying this way, right? That when you talk about it and when you think about it from any standpoint, right? A shift in momentum, a shift in a different direction is monumental. It requires a lot of, energy to do so. But once that shift is positive, it can make wonders. Like I'll explain, right? So King Ashoka, right? Uh, he wept when he saw his empire, right? The Maurya Empire at that time, and he saw a lot of killing, and he did give up his entire worldly possessions and became part of Jainism or Buddhism that time. Uh, it's about the similarity, right? Where you give up your worldly possessions and you meditate and you give up your life and for the enlightenment. And why I like reading history is that knowing that a king who had everything, right? Everything means he conquered. He had his loyal subjects. He had unlimited resources. He gave it all up because he realized that death, right, and the destruction that he caused, it wasn't good. I'm obviously like paraphrasing and making it simple, but he realized that, and it's the same thing. That if somebody from history like that can change, and you can take inspiration, it makes a lot of difference. And that's why I feel like the more of these kind of talks happen, the positivity that can you know change, and it's like the snowball effect. Like if you remember, there was somebody on the lockdown, right? Because they were dancing. They had 100 million followers on TikTok all of a sudden, and they got like a TV show, and the net worth went from like a few $100,000 to millions of dollars overnight, and they got a TV show, and they got this. Mate, can I ask you something? Imagine with that kind of influence, and if you told everybody on TikTok with 100 million people following you that, hey, you know what? Give up breakfast this morning. It's not going to affect you unless until you really need to, and let's donate that money to help people eat lunch and dinner. And the people who are being awesome and who can fast a bit longer, let's give up 2 meals a day, right? Let's redistribute some helpful positivity, right? Have you read Siddhartha? Yes. Yeah, so that's part of that. Yes, absolutely. And like that's what I'm talking about, the influence. So yes, I may not be 100% million famous, right? I don't have that many people who are supporting me. I'm not that on the pinnacle, but it's the journey that matters, because you have to start. Right? Like the reason they have a subscriber count to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, you have to go through that because it's the journey, right? So when the journey's there, and the more we speak about it, the more momentum we carry forward, the more momentum we get. Do you know what a difference it can make? I'll tell you this, right? I've been on live now 24 days in a row. I was a bit late today, okay? It's alright, I showed up a little bit. We did a slight exercise, nothing crazy, right? I have said almost every day, don't eat processed sugar. Let us not participate in eating processed sugar. Maybe one person also is not eating, and he may be telling his friends, or she may be telling his friends, or they may be telling their friends, hey mate, you know what? Give up processed sugar today. There will be a time, there'll be enough of people who have heard this line, let's give up processed sugar. You do not need it to enrich your lives. Do you know the impact of that? Do you know the impact of people not drinking a particular drink that has like 36 grams of sugar? Can you imagine how many kilos and tons of sugar that will not be required to be processed? I'm telling you, it's all it is a multiplier effect, just like basic economics. For it to go to the next level, I'll give you the craziest example. There's an airlines called Delta Airlines, and they're based in Atlanta, Georgia, right, in America. They stopped serving one extra olive, right, in their salad. They saved $200,000. Customers did not notice that instead of 3 olives there were 2. However, they saved $200,000 by stop serving one small olive. Now, if I'm just saying in relation, right? If everybody gives up, like I said, breakfast one morning and takes that money, next thing you know, you've collected millions of pounds. So the multiplier effect is so significant
that it can kickstart. Imagine this, right? 6 million people, or 600,000 people, or 60,000 people give up breakfast for one morning. We donate that. Do you know potentially you can pay off somebody's house every day? One person's house, right? But it's also, you can build 10 different houses for people every day, so people are not homeless, so people are not hungry. And the things that you vote on for the highest economic impact, which then can create more income, right? Can you imagine that, right? So I'll say this way, right? Imagine for a second we create small places where Anthony also said before, right? You buy one, you can feed one. Imagine they're spread out just like a chain of Greg's in the Northeast, where every corner has one. And instead of being a profitable endeavor for food, we have clean, nutritious food, not highly processed, freshly made. You pay the employees what they need to be, and you provide it at a substantially reduced rate so more people can eat clean, more people have access to good food. Do you know the impact, the social and the political impact of such places? I'm going to leave you with that thought. How amazing would that be? All right. Well, I apologize for being a few minutes late today, but you know what it is? That's why I show up live. So I'm not faking it that I always wake up at 3. I woke up a few minutes late. My bad. However, I appreciate the conversation today. I didn't do too much exercise. However, like I say, some exercise is better than no exercise, and I stand true by that. Another thing, happy Diwali to all the people celebrating Diwali. And at the same time, I may not be super focused, but I'm focused on being super. Also, avoid eating processed sugar if you can, absolutely. And some amount of exercise is better than no exercise. All right. Well, I'm gonna go skibbity dabbity dabble do, and I hope you focus on your mental health and mental well-being. And I promise you that when you make that a priority for yourself, others will respect it, and the people who are deciding to disrespect it, it's okay. Namaste to them, and you have to move on. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you again, 3 a.m., 9:30 p.m. UK time, and I hope you have a fantastic day, a positive day, an impactful day, and do not forget to keep your mental health and well-being as a priority for yourself. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye now. Ciao.